Hey, welcome. This is Turtle Island Sports. I'm Darren J, aka Devo, aka the Oracle. I'm here with the mayor of what city in Texas, my brother?
I got this. I got this. I'm cutting it in. I'm cutting it in. It's the mayor here. Yeah, why am I the mayor? Because I run this. Greatness has arrived. You're welcome. Yes. Yes.
Yo, man, this is sports, not pro wrestling, my brother.
I don't think you understand what this is. I said greatness. You calling this pro wrestling? No, this is
Yeah,
real.
man. The way you
Correct
cut me
yourself.
off, man, it's like, yo, man, you were talking to Mean Gene.
No, let me tell you something, brother. Let me tell you something. When greatness
See?
walks on the scene, you have no choice but to accept it or get out of the way. You understand that, brother? I love it.
Whatever. Well, this is Turtle Island Sports. I'm Darren J, aka Devo, aka the Oracle. This is the mayor and our producer, my man, Capes. He always got the cape on, always here to save the day if we mess up. And trust me, I know for sure I usually fuck up. So hey, right there, I might get in the penalty box for that comment. But as George Clinton once said in House Party, cry 2 tears in a bucket and say motherfucker. So, what we going to talk about this evening? And by the way, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers that's listening. And you know, at one time or another in every person's life, you have been a mother. Think about it.
There you go. Let me tell you something. Shout out to all the moms out there. Shout out to the moms out there being currently made. All right. Shout out to the future moms. Oh, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. All right. Happy Mother's Day.
Damn, you sound like a cross between Hulk Hogan and Bernie Mac, man.
I love it. I love it.
All right, man. Let's get this show rolling. What we gonna speak about first?
Well, first off, I want to get into what's hot, what's leading sports right now? The NBA, baby. All right. The
Yeah.
National Basketball Association and hot stories leading in. So that's just how I feel, how I see it. Those stories, it's so many, and this NBA playoff season is particularly interesting because this is the first one that how long can we say it's been since it's been Kevin Durant or LeBron James dominating the storyline? How long has it been since that? Both of them have been removed relatively early from dominating the playoff picture. And we're not talking about the NBA through the lens of Kevin Durant, how would they affect, and LeBron James, how would they affect it? This is pretty much that transitional period similar to when Jordan was leaving, Jordan left. All right, who's picking it up? What is it going to look like? That one dominating figure. So now that's why I like these playoffs because we're getting a lot of those new names, the John Morants, Tatum coming alive. We get even now Dylan Brooks. We're going to get into that. How these Memphis cats, even before Minnesota, Carl Anthony Towns and his continental tissue self. These storylines are so amazing. And that's the thing. The Heat, low key. Before I shout out to the Heat, all these storylines are amazing and they're very interesting. And it's giving us a glimpse into the next chapter of the NBA. What do you think?
Uh True that the next generation is coming around and doing their thing in the NBA, but I'm calling bullshit on the playoffs. Because what people gotta remember, this NBA playoffs is a television show. So therefore, they got I'm talking about the Phoenix Suns and Dallas Mavericks series. They got two of the biggest stars playing in that series with Luka Doncic on Dallas and Chris Paul on Phoenix. And Phoenix had a chance today to take firm command of this series and then end it this coming week. But I think a referee got a call from somewhere up top. This dude like, look, let's stretch this series out. And magically, a 17-year, 18-year veteran fouls out of a playoff game. A playoff game? Come on, man. Come on, man. And I was watching that game, and at least 2 or 3 of those fouls was phantom fouls. That he didn't even touch the guy. He didn't make the guy fall. And all of a sudden they blow whistles and they kick him out of the game midway through the fourth quarter, man. I call bullshit. And I call bullshit on Taylor Jenkins, too. Man, he should have used my name, my surname. I wear that name Jenkins proudly. And I was talking to our producer, Capes, last night during the Canelo fight. And we was watching the end of the third quarter of the game. By that time, Golden State was up by over 20 points. And I told Capes, if I was Taylor Jenkins, I would pull my starters, have them get their sweats on, drink some Gatorade, ice up, and chill for the fourth quarter. And let's get Steven Adams and the rest of the bench some burn. But no. This fool had Ja Morant play late in the fourth quarter when the score was determined. You knew who was going to win. Only people was watching the game was people that bet on the game looking at the point spread. And what happened? Golden State went into goon mode, and yeah, that shit was on purpose, and took Ja Morant out. Like I said, on the slide, Golden State is no better than the 90 Knicks or the 90 Bad Boys. They do the same shit. They just do the shit now on the slide, slickly.
What are you talking about?
You didn't see when Poole both people reaching for the ball and grabbed Ja Morant's knees?
That's a dirty play. Yeah, that is a dirty play. To add on to your point, along with Draymond, when he pulled someone down, I'm sure our producer, he's an avid hooper and can attest to being pulled down by the shirt when you're coming down. For all of my strength and conditioning folks, they will tell you the most explosive movement you can make out of your body is to jump. The jump. Inverse the thing we have to always, when we're working strength and conditioning with athletes, inverse, it's the deceleration and the landing that we want to brace the body for, because that is most often when people get hurt. So to pull someone down, that's very dirty. And to also jump on your point real quick, Steve Kerr got shut up. He don't call nobody dirty. Don't call it a dirty play or nothing. You can't say nothing now because your team's out here. You've already pulled one of these young cats down. That was very dangerous. People don't understand how that was more dangerous than what Jordan Poole did to Ja Morant. Because if you land wrong, you can pop something in your body. That's all of his weight. It's 200 and something pounds.
What's the difference between what Draymond and Poole did
and
Poole than the Jordan
do not
rules?
touch someone's
the Jordan rules.
Yeah, I'm with you.
But remember the Jordan rules. Remember the Jordan and Jordan rules started in 1987. So that's when according to you, that's when basketball started.
Yeah, that's when basketball started. It's not my fault.
Yeah, man, get the
how
fuck
these things are made.
You know, come on. Anyway, the Jordan and everybody, all you youngsters that don't know about the Jordan rule, when Jordan go to the hole, I want at least 3 motherfuckers hitting him because the referee can't call 3 fouls. Okay, that was the Jordan rules. Okay. That was the rule when Pat Riley took over the Knicks. Pat the Rat. He told the Knicks, every play to the basket, everybody foul. They can't call 5 fouls. Okay? So my whole thing, Golden State now, they smoothed it out. They remixed it. They make it sound more slick, but they doing the same shit. You know, they playing slick goon ball.
Okay. I got. I think it was just these two plays are being really pushed to the front. I think the main problem.
Golden Boy Steph Curry, every time he hit a 40-footer, he got to shake his ass to the crowd like he's on Soul Train and shit.
Well, here's the problem. Here's
But
their
when
main
somebody
problem.
do that shit to him, oh, that's bad. Why are you doing that?
I actually was getting ready to disagree with you, but when I looked it up, the Warriors, you would think they would be the more disciplined team because they're the older, experienced team. But there's 25 fouls the Warriors have committed versus 19 to the Grizzlies.
Oh, but those 25 fouls are calculated. No, they are disciplined. They are calculated. They're trying to intimidate.
They know exactly what they're doing. So now that got me wondering. All right, especially Draymond, you got 2 flagrant fouls. You already got 2 flagrant points. If you get another flagrant 2, you're gone the next game and thereafter every time you get one.
He knows that.
Okay.
He knows that.
Now
and Draymond is not going to. I guarantee he won't get another flagrant foul in the playoffs because everything that dude did, he calculated. When he got kicked out, he did that victory lap, and then he did a podcast.
Well, yeah. Look, man, he knows it's entertainment.
That motherfucker, everything is calculated. Look, he knows it's
entertainment. So I get that. Shout out to him. Hey, know what you're doing, marketing, baby. Hey, all attention is good attention, baby. All about that dollar, you dig? All right. Mm-hmm. My thing is this. When I look at these NBA playoffs, I'm going back once again to your Phoenix point. I can't rock with you on that one. I don't know if the NBA made a call and told Phoenix to miss 11 to shoot 36% from the 3, while they told Dallas to set their franchise record today, hitting 23s, because everything else was even. They actually Phoenix out-rebounded Dallas. It was 42 to 37. 42 to 37 in rebounds. So
I'm like you, little Reggie. I've been watching basketball a little bit longer than you have.
No.
No. Let me finish. And
I didn't even get the rest of my point out.
Because what are you saying? Why? Once again, you haven't answered me this. How can a veteran of 17 years, a veteran of 71 gold medals, have done everything in the NBA except win a championship, all of a sudden become a rookie and foul out of a playoff game?
Because he let Luka get in his head. There you go. Are you happy now? That's your answer. He let Luka get in his head.
Said what?
Point blank the end. If he's so damn disciplined, he got to do a better job not letting Luka get in his head.
How do you be disciplined?
Quit whining and crying.
Check this out. Boom. I fouled you. What?
Now that last sixth foul, it was a phantom call. That was a horrible call. It was a phantom call today. This wasn't the last seconds of the game. It was what? It was at the beginning of the fourth quarter.
Yes. I hope you cast out referees, officials. I hope you cast out.
No. Because they were losing that game anyway, Devo. They were losing that game anyway.
Man.
They couldn't play defense, stopping them from the 3.
2.5 points.
They couldn't do defense before stopping them on that 3. They couldn't do it. So that's why I don't understand. Okay. I don't understand where this for this game. I can rock with you more on the Warriors Grizzlies calling that a farce because Jordan Poole needs to be suspended. He needs to be suspended.
Like once again, well let's close this out. But once again, the NBA playoffs is a show.
It is a show. It is a show.
They don't have any content. They don't have any content. Just like they did last Thursday. They don't have no show. They don't have no ratings. Advertisers is going to be upset. So therefore, let's drag this playoff series, which is going to be a good series, out for at least 6 games. That's all I got to say. All right, let's move on to our next topic.
Got you. So Next topic. What do we got? Our next topic is the WNBA. Now, what we're looking at is when we speak of the WNBA, what are the problems with marketing, and what would be the leading stories coming into this season? What do you think, Devo?
Yo, it's marketing. Yo, I'm looking up now who's the head of marketing in the WNBA. Because whoever's the head of marketing, they should be fired. They should be fired. Because, yo, you had an open night Thursday night. Why you didn't start your season up that last Thursday? Last Thursday, how much basketball did you watch, man?
None.
Yes.
None.
So, do you watch baseball?
Not really. Not
And
anymore.
really, that night there were a lot of games that was rained out. Do you watch? Yeah, like I said, do you watch baseball? Do you watch hockey?
I'm starting to watch a little bit of hockey, but still, it's not
Okay, so
it's not the NBA.
It was an open night for the WNBA.
Right.
And what did they do? They started their season Friday. How many NBA games were there Friday?
A bunch.
It was
I think two.
It was two games.
There was two.
Yes. And let me tell you, a couple of those WNBA games were good games. I watched them. The Sky and Sparks, it went into overtime. It was a lot better than the Philadelphia 76er Heat game. But because of poor marketing, nobody watched it. If a tree falls in the forest,
does anybody hear it? And let me double up.
Who hears it?
Shout out to Big Phillip. Bet that bread. That's another thing that got me thinking. The one thing all the sports leagues are doing now, the big thing, sports betting, in-game betting. WNBA, why are you not jumping into this league? DraftKings, fantasy. Why are we not jumping into this? That's one. Two, I just looked it up. The average salary for the WNBA player, last time they checked and did it, it is an average salary, $75K a year.
75K.
Compared to an NBA rookie. Hold on a second, Devo. An NBA rookie makes $820K coming in. The NBA rookie. So not an NBA veteran, not someone who's been there, not someone who's getting a second contract, not a first-round lottery pick, not a first-round pick, an NBA rookie. That's
do you know what the max contract in the WNBA is per year?
Go ahead, tell them. Hit them with it.
$228,000. While the max contract in the NBA is $47 million.
Do you know high school teachers? Certain high school teachers make $70,000 a year.
Yes, I know that. I know.
I'm not talking elevated. I'm not talking private. Public.
No, I was just hanging out with an educator from New York. She's make six figures.
And that's what I'm saying, bro. These are literal, and to break it down real quick, from $1 million up, that's your upper 1%. From your $1 million to your 250, that's your upper class. Because you have your upper 1% and then your upper class for your social income. Then from 250 to 75. That is your lower upper class.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get your 70. That's your 70 to your 40. That's your middle class. Then you have a working class 40 to 20, and it'll break down. So these ladies are in a middle class.
And that's why
professional sports, the top pinnacle of their sports in their middle class.
And that's why Brittany Griner is remaking Shawshank Redemption in Russia.
And you know for a fact, the equivalent of it, the male equivalent of Brittany Griner, the male equivalent would have been out. They would have, because they'll be damned if all that money they put in, he'd probably be making $100 million. Hey man, I don't give a shit what you got going on. You get him over here, or we're gonna make some motherfucking calls.
But Brittany had to make $1 million in Russia. That's why
Exactly.
she went over there. That's why. Remember when Phoenix won the championship a couple of seasons ago, and
Right.
Diane Taurasi couldn't celebrate with her team
Because
because
she had
she
to
had
go.
to go to Russia to cash $1 million check.
Hell yeah.
This is ridiculous. And like I said, it comes down to marketing. You can market this better. Yo, play some games at Rutgers. Play some game at Baker, at the Drew. Have the people see this game instead of trying to be a miniature NBA, because you're not. You gotta make this. You gotta build this. You gotta be. Look, I told my brother, because my brother said that the WNBA is trash, and I told him bullshit. I'm just like, look,
Never
I
watched.
I have seen motherfuckers make millions of dollars selling pet rocks. Rocks. They just put some paint on there and shine them up and sold us, and people
Chia
bought
pets.
that shit.
You can make millions of dollars doing chia pets.
Yes.
You can make,
So I'm
hey,
just
now they
saying
got
that
NFTs.
I just
Fake
saying that
fantasy art.
with the right marketing, the WNBA could work. But like I said, the marketing department and the
Needs to
commissioner,
go.
they're all bullshit. Well,
They need to
every
go.
other year you got a new commissioner, because I
Yeah, they
guess
need
they
to go.
figure like, yo,
They need to go.
this shit is bullshit. Let me get the
I
fuck out of here.
mean, you can get in. I would get into crypto. I would talk to Bezos. Hey, we need get some of that real backing.
Nah,
Hey, go ahead
Bezos,
and tell them
Bezos'
the story
ex-wife,
about the New
Bezos'
York Liberty
ex-wife,
and how they
she's
almost got
always
shut
ready
down.
to give up some charity
No,
money.
tell the story about the New York Liberty and how they about to get ready to get shut down.
Oh, yo, their owner that owns Alibaba decided to do something nice for the ladies. Look, I want you to ride in my PJ, my private jet. Yo, you have champagne, you kick it. Yo, just chill. Yo, the WNBA told Alibaba, like, motherfucker, you ever do that shit, put your women on your private jet, I will snatch your team from you. And now I'm gonna fine you $500,000. Don't ever let these women know, yo, how the other half live. These ladies gotta either take Amtrak or Coach. And I'm not lying. I'm not making this shit up. You can Google this shit.
Yeah, and that's a shame, man. That's a shame, bro. Like, how is it that that states we are purposely keeping you here? We are purposely keeping you to this level. We're not trying to expand. And that's the part that's a shame. And this is personal to me. I got some of my family members watching this. I have a family member who we wanted to go to the WNBA, but she didn't because it wasn't good business.
It wasn't good.
Literally.
Yo, Tia Cooper.
She has her face hanging about 2 hours away. Her face is hanging in banners. She is in their little Hall of Fame. She was legit. But it was no, little Reggie. It's not.
Yeah,
good
but
business
look at
for me to
Tia
go to
Cooper.
WNBA.
Tia
I gotta
Cooper
go
is a
overseas.
social media influencer. I mean, during the off season, I've seen Tia Cooper more than her ex-husband Dwight Howard on social media. Every time I turn on social media, I see Tia doing a dance with Alvin Kamara, doing a dance by herself, taking shots, yo, putting it between her legs. And what did the Sparks do? What did WNBA do? They cut her. Why are you going to cut somebody that could bring a million people to watch your game?
I mean, look, man, it's frustrating because I'm wondering, do they need to switch their audience? Not try to get the average male viewer, because that's most of sports. Why we may need to switch their audience? They need to do something, because what they're doing now
target a niche. You target a niche audience. That's how you work it. You target a niche audience and cater to them. You know,
Exactly.
right now, everybody wasn't watching that Canelo Bivol fight last night, but boxing heads, all of us was watching that shit. Okay, that and probably a million other people was watching that fight. Okay, because the promoters know I got a niche. I'm gonna get these boxing heads from Europe and from the United States to watch this. You know, we ain't gonna even try to fuck with UFC because we know the UFC fans don't fuck with boxing.
Yes, and that's something that actually that is true. And here's my thing with the marketing, the NFL, the Kings, they aren't the NFL because football is the best sport. I love football. I'm a football coach, it's my favorite sport. But I'm not an idiot. I understand the NFL, they are the Kings because they understand this is about the bottom dollar. And how do we get this bottom dollar out to everyone? We will go on Amazon and put these games on Amazon if Yahoo and all these other folks ain't paying. Hey, we see that this digital world is coming to fruition. Hey, we see this gambling money is starting to get serious. So we gonna be first to this pot. We see, oh yeah, NBA. I like how y'all do your off season. All of a sudden, bang, the draft is big money now. The draft used to not be televised. It used to be 12 rounds. But all of a sudden, over these this isn't something that's always been done. This is relatively new how they do the draft.
It's called pivoting. It's called pivoting.
Exact. And it's the basis of that marketing and understanding what I need to do to grow my base. Yo. So now I got that I'm looking at, because you notice the NFL all of a sudden now, oh yeah, we can do stuff in our off season. It's okay. Hey, owner, let's let these players get traded. Give them more power, because now Russell Wilson's name is in the news in March. Mm-hmm. We got NFL news in April. We got NFL news in June. Oh, wait a minute. See, and that's the thing. The WNBA, the NBA does it. Oh, yeah, we got news. We end in June. But, oh, yes, baby, that news is still coming, and we're still leading in July. We can lead in July. We can lead with a story in August. And we're always on your mind. We're always staying on your mind once we get into your mind. And now how can we do the WNBA can do this as well? I mean, hell, one of the things about Tiger Woods, just as he's not the first black golfer. He was really good, but he understood marketing. Let's not act like that's not a part of it.
Oh, Cabling Asian. He's Cabling. Yo, he calls himself on Oprah show Cabling Asian. Caucasian, black, and Asian.
He understood.
He understood. Yes, that's right. When he won the Masters, the first person he mentioned was Lee Elder, was Sam Sifford, the two black men that came before him. He knew that shit. In fact, I got Jackie Robinson shit on. Shout out to Jack Roosevelt Robinson. You know, the man that broke the color barrier. That it wasn't for him, all these Negroes making $40-50 million a year wouldn't be making it. Or the shit he had to go through.
This is and we're talking all sports.
Yes, all sports. This motherfucker used to get spiked on the regular. A baseball player from Philadelphia, Richie Ashburn, literally said, I want to spike a black man to see if he can bleed. And he did that.
He went through these kind of things.
Robinson and Cliff and Branch Rickey told Jackie for the first 3 years, do not retaliate. Take this shit. That's why he was chosen to be the first, because we knew, Josh Gibson was a much better ball player. But in fact, Jackie played for the Kansas City Monarchs. And Josh Gibson was a much better. Shasha Page was a much better ball player than Jackie Robinson. But they knew that if somebody spiked them or somebody threw at them, those motherfuckers gonna fly somebody's head.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. And all that to be said is so much understanding. What is it to get this dollar? What is it to come down to it? The basic, get this dollar. The WNBA, that's what I'm saying. Y'all do decent with the WNBA draft, because I hear more about the WNBA draft than I do the games. And here's one of my problems, what I think the WNBA needs to do. I think also some sort of free agency where we can get some sort of actual super team together and get some sort of dynasty running. Because that's when the Sparks were going, when the Comets were going. It seems the WNBA a good team to either root for or root against to create some sort of rivalry. I think that needs to be put into play. They need to market their stars a hell of a lot better.
Well, they did have that in the early days because the rivalry was the Comets against the Liberty.
Mm-hmm. Well,
it was Cynthia Cooper and Cheryl Swoops against Teresa Witherspoon and Kim Hampton.
Well, we got to get back to that, but they do it. There's Candace Parker doing the unique job of what she's doing, and I would do more of that. Because you got Shanae Ogunike on ESPN, Candace Parker on TNT, and that's the thing that's amazing. You got those two active players.
See, every time you mention Candace Parker, I think of JJ Riddick. It's moist. It's moist.
Yeah. No, Rex Chapman. Rex Chapman.
Rex Chapman. I'm sorry, not JJ. Rex Chapman is moist.
Yeah, moist. Shout out Rex. But you got those two active players. She did the WNBA, all that work with TNT. Then you got Shanae doing all that work with ESPN. Active, and they still cannot get the WNBA off the ground. What is going on? They still can't get the WNBA.
Yo, it's Phil Cook. Phil Cook, you're the head of marketing in WNBA. I hope somebody send this to you, man. You got to do a better job, man. Yo.
Here's another thing. They've already got a dream team together. Because I don't know the last time the women actually lost a tournament game in the Olympics. It's nuts.
Well, that's why they sped up the season. They started the season early because the World Cup is I believe in August or early September. So that's why they started the season early. Because usually the season starts around end of May, June, but they had to finish it early so they could play in the World Cup. But they got a dream team. Yes, you're right. They got a dream team. They got players that is so good. Sue Bird and Taurasi. Well, Brittany gonna have to sit it out because she's locked up. That they're gonna sit it out. But you know, Maya Moore is making more money for nonprofit that she made in the WNBA. You know that?
And look, man. You can put out all those numbers when they say make the same money as me. I actually kind of make more money than them.
And I understand. Then I understand. No, they're not going to make the $40 million contracts like they do in the NBA. I understand that because they ain't pulling 20,000 people, but they still can have players making $2-3 million a year, making $500,000 a year, making have a bench warmer, have the lowest pay instead of the average. The lowest pay $75,000.
Right. You are the pinnacle of your sport. That's the problem. Is if this was all right, college, or this was something else we're talking about, fine. But this is the pinnacle, the top of your sport. It can't be this. It can't be this drastically low with comparison to all the other professional sports. That's the problem why this is absolutely embarrassing. You got to make this the pinnacle, and they got to act like it. What is our next topic?
Well, Phil Cook, that's the head of marketing in WNBA. Yo, get your mind right. Do the women justice and stop marketing this thing properly. So let's go to the next topic.
All right. State of boxing. Dmitry Bulov scored a stunning upset over Canelo Alvarez in Las Vegas Saturday night, staying undefeated to retain his WNBA light heavyweight title by unanimous decision. With this loss, where do you feel the state of boxing is, and who, in your opinion, we need to talk about is the number one pound-for-pound boxer?
Right now, for my man Canelo Alvarez, that means it's going to be a big payday, man. Because that rematch is going to be killer. That rematch is going to be killer. And shout out to Joe Diaz and Antonio Diaz to teach. They taught Dimitri Bivol how to box and fight a Mexican fighter. Both of them was in Dimitri's corner. Both of them are Mexican, and both of them taught him, yo, this is how you fight a Mexican fighter. You can't wait for the action. You gotta bring the action
You
to
gotta
it.
dictate it because he Canelo went into it was like he went into a shell.
Mm-hmm.
When I watched him fight Kirkland, he beat, and Kirkland wasn't a trash fighter at this point. He was not a shot fighter. Kirkland was still in his prime and still a good fighter.
Mm-hmm.
And Canelo beat the hell out of him.
Yeah.
Just went in like a pit bull and went after him. And
well, remember Billy Joe Saunders? He took Billy Joe to the deep water and then dotted his eye and strutted off after that round like it's over. Yo, his eye was broken. Yeah.
And that's where I'm rubbing my head because I'm really not even thinking. Like, I don't need to watch the fight. He gonna go in, he gonna handle his business, and it'll be done. Man, next thing I know, wait, what? He lost? And they show the numbers. And they show the numbers. And it's Canelo not really punching, not really throwing. And he's trying to look for that power punch. He's trying, not setting anything up, not coming with any combinations. He's want to look for that one power punch. And in boxing, after those first couple rounds, if you can't get that power punch, brother, you got to set something up. Like that's why I love Teddy Atlas. You have to knock on the door before you can open it. You can't just always get it in.
A lot of people don't realize Canelo usually fight 168, 160, and he moved up 7 pounds. That 7 pounds mean a whole lot because a lot of people going back in history, Sugar Ray Robinson at the time was considered the pound for pound the best fighter. In 52, he fought Joey Maxson for the light heavyweight championship. It was in Yankee Stadium. It was over 100 degrees. And Sugar Ray Robinson lost the fight due to dehydration. He couldn't come out for the later rounds. And then once again, Roy Jones. Everybody thought Roy Jones was indestructible. He went up weight for Antonio Tarver, and look what happened to him.
I'm out. I don't need to be reminded of that heartbreak, all right? I hated Antonio Tarver for a long time for destroying my dreams like that. I love
what did Smokey say? You got knocked the fuck out. Yeah.
Boy. Because here's the thing. When it comes to boxing, they see that weight. And like you say, they see it's just 7 pounds up. The problem is two things. Hey, shout out Not Your Average Podcast crew. They said Canelo looked winded. That's what I'm getting to.
He did.
Two things. It's the weight you carry. Think of it, people. I'm carrying a 25-pound weight. My body's used to carrying that 25-pound weight. All of a sudden, I'm used to running about half mile with that 25-pound weight. All of a sudden, I go up to a 30-pound weight. Oh, wait a minute. At first, it really doesn't take effect until about those last couple of steps, those last couple of strides. Ooh, now I'm really going to feel it. That's one. Two, in boxing, especially when you're at that 140, 150, 160 weight, that's how much you weigh in, and you're probably going to walk in the ring a little bit heavier because it's more you're walking around weight.
Mm-hmm.
When you go up, you're going up against dudes who have a bigger, larger walking around weight. So, yes, it may have been 170 when they weighed in, but that dude ain't no telling how much he actually weighed when he walked in there, and I guarantee you it was not 170.
There you go.
So now, Canelo, you're used to dealing with someone who's 160, who might be 170. That dude was probably 180, maybe 190, maybe
Mhm.
190, and you ain't gonna power punch him out. He gonna
And
lean on you. His jabs hurt a little bit more. His hooks hurt a little bit. So now all of a sudden he's back. It's not so much that they're landing, but he's backing you up, and he's not allowing you to set yourself up. And so now it's like, look, bro, you should have prepared for this.
and these European fighters are getting slick with this. To beat Mexican and fighters from the US, they're using trainers from Mexico, from the US. Look what Tyson Fury did after he drew Deontay Wilder the first time. He got Sugar
He went
Hill
to that
Stewart.
Crunk gym. And I'm
Yeah,
telling you,
Sugar
something,
Hill
them boys out
Stewart.
there in
Sugar Hill
Crunk gym,
Stewart
they coming to
told
kill you.
him to stop slapping people, and I'm going to show you how to knock a
someone
man
out.
out.
And here's the thing, it ain't stopped. Like we saw what happened with Deontay, and then we just saw what happened with your boy White. Put him to sleep.
Yo, man, uppercut, then pushed him down. Yo, that was disrespectful. Him with an uppercut, and they're like, boom, you're done.
It was sleep. So speak of who would you think is your number one pound for pound fighter now?
Pound for pound? No, I still think it's Canelo. Tell you the truth, I still think it's Canelo. Yo, every just like Sugar Ray Robinson, every fighter has a bad night. He had a bad night. He had
Tell
a
me
bad
about
night.
Earl Spence and Terrence Crawford's bad
And
night.
Canelo is no dope. Canelo, every fight he learns something.
All right. I hear you. Tell me about Earl Spence and Terrence Crawford's bad night.
Oh, well, Terrence Crawford.
Exactly.
Terrence Crawford
Come on,
whipped that
man.
ass. But Terrence Crawford is an ABM, an angry black man. He have never got his just reward.
No, he hasn't.
When the last time you saw Terrence Crawford smile?
Oh, when he knocked out Sean Porter.
What?
Shit.
Yo,
man.
Errol Spence.
Hey, man, get that off the screen. Get that off the screen. Whoever that Not Your Average podcast crew can get out of here.
No, I agree.
Canelo to me has dropped.
Canelo had a bad night. Canelo had a bad night, and I think
that's the point. If you are going to be number one, you're not allowed to have a bad night.
Yes, you are.
There are no bad nights for number one.
Ali did that with Leon Spinks. He let Leon
He
Spinks
is overall.
beat him.
He won number one after he got beat. But Leon Spinks was already over.
What did Ali do? Ali went to your hometown.
It was already over.
Hometown.
It was already over. He was no longer number one. He is the greatest of all time, but he was not number one. He was not number one.
Yes, he was.
Hey, well, he wasn't the active number one. He got his ass whipped by Leon Spinks.
The fight was on CBS.
I don't give a damn. It could have been on the moon. I don't care who showed it. It does not matter. Muhammad Ali, all right, Muhammad Ali, when he thought Leon Spinks was not the greater rope-a-dope, it was not that great man we were used to. It was past the time. We are talking about the number one dude. And why am I talking about Muhammad Ali? Fuck that. It is Terrence Bud Crawford, number one.
Let me explain the WBA.
Explain why Terrence Crawford's number one. Explain to me. That's all I need to hear.
I tried to put you up on knowledge. That
I don't want your knowledge. I don't want your faux fake knowledge. Get out of here with that.
WBA wanted Ali to fight Norton a fourth time.
I don't give a damn. That ain't got nothing to do with right now.
Oh, man. Yo, you hear this, Capes? Yo.
Yes, I want him to hear it. Let me tell you why Terrence Bud Crawford is the number one pound for pound monster. All right? He dominates all his fights. Not wins, dominates.
Bud is good. Bud,
not good. Great. Watch your mouth. Give that man his respect.
Yo, Bud is a Hall of Famer. Bud is excellent. Bud, anybody within his weight, he will fuck up.
He's went up. He also gets the dudes above him. Everywhere he goes,
I still say Canelo, pound for pound, is still the best. Until
he just lost.
This rematch,
how is he the best when he lost?
If he loses this rematch, then that would change my mind. But like I said,
Nah,
right now
man.
this shit was calculated, man. This is prize
man.
fighting. You tried to
Lost. It's a loss.
maximize
I don't care
all
what you
your
call it.
talent.
Prize fighting, one fighting, street fighting. It's a loss. All right. This is Terrence Bud Crawford time now.
All great
Errol
fighters
Spence
lose.
is number 2.
All
Canelo
great
is
fighters
after
lose.
him.
Yo, all
And I'm
great
saying this
fighters
in
lose.
the DFW area. Loving me some Errol Spence. Love what he did to Ugas.
Errol Spence. Errol Spence fight a whole lot better than he drive. That's one thing I know.
He came back from it though, and let me say something. I have never felt bad. Like I felt actually bad, and I was for a second scared for Ugas when I saw that man retreat, not tactically back up to try to gain space in it. No, he had that man retreating. He was done. I love Errol Spence. I love what he did to me. He's number 2 behind Bud. I have never seen, even within that Sean Porter fight, knew the whole fight. It's just a matter of when Bud is going to end this. It seems Bud Crawford, Terrence Crawford, in fights when he wants to.
But the fight I want to see that nobody's talking about is Shakur Stevenson versus Gervonta Davis. And nobody is not talking this fight up. That fight should happen. I want to see that fight.
Shakur Stevenson, man. I have not seen defense since. I know this is blasphemous, but I haven't seen that kind of defense since Mayweather. That boy there, man, I'm telling you.
But that's the whole thing. I want to see.
He can literally look like,
I want to see
like he could dislocate your shoulder from missing and swinging.
Can a scientist beat a tank? Because Davis only know one direction, straight ahead.
One way. Pain is discipline.
Yeah.
Davis's pain is discipline. Mm-hmm. And I love all these fighters, but still they don't have that. The thing about greatness to me in all sports is when, this looks easy. Venus Williams. Oh yeah, tennis looks easy. Peyton Manning playing quarterback. Oh, playing quarterback looks easy. Basketball with LeBron James. Oh, basketball looks easy. Boxing, watching Terrence Crawford. Oh, this looks easy. And I really don't see any of that consistently. At points with Stevenson. At points, you can see it, but not as consistently as I can see it with Terrence Bud Crawford. That's why the fight that everyone's talking, I agree, Terrence versus Earl. Yes, I want that to happen, and I believe it will be in the later rounds. Crawford will take him.
Oh yeah. Crawford will walk him down. We'll walk him down. We'll beat him. Yes, I agree. But like I said, around August, September, we're going to see Dimitri Bivol and Canelo fight.
See, now, if he wins that rematch, I can deal a little bit more. I ain't gonna give it to him still.
If Jerry Jones stops
one of those other 2 losers, I can't give that. No, I'm sorry, Canelo.
If Jerry Jones
stops first, this is his second loss. Even though I don't count that first one to Mayweather, this is still your second loss, brother. You still in the middle of your prime with this one. This one I count.
If your man's Jerry Jones stop T-boning people and having babies show up out of nowhere, maybe he could have the fight in Jerry World.
Oh, you know it. If it's good enough, baby, of course he will have it.
But by this time, Jerry, you should have a driver. Why are you driving, Jerry?
Exactly. I thought I was assuming the driver was the one who got in the accident. Jerry.
Yeah, why are you driving, Jerry? And why are you driver? And why are you still having baby mama drama?
Man, he living that life, baby.
Yeah.
I mean, you see how charming that man is.
I bet you JJ probably visited the White House a couple of times back in the 90s.
You know it. Hell, him and Mike probably had their own.
Mike probably introduced him to that chick in DC.
I'm telling you.
But But boxing is getting interesting. But did you see
Yeah.
UFC, man? How they did
Submission.
Aliva dirty?
Wait, what? I did not
Oh,
see
yo,
that.
man, the brother from Brazil, man, he was a half a pound overweight, and they stripped him.
Oh yeah,
And
and they stripped him of his title, and he went and put night night.
he beat the shit out of Gaethje, man.
Night night, and I loved it. I love when they whooped. Oh man, ain't that him and that
Yo,
other cowboy? I love watching them get whooped. It's
yo,
very
yo,
entertaining. I
yo,
put that thing when I was on the DVR. I love rewinding it like it's my favorite
that
show.
Brazilian brother jumped on that dude like a spider monkey. I mean, he fucked him up.
I'm telling you, I'm a shit. I'm about to lose this half pound all up and down your ass.
Mm-hmm. And he came to Dana right after the fight, after the fight was over. And Dana told him, like, look, man, you was half pound overweight, man. You know, so he gonna get the first shot back.
I'm telling you, man. that oh my goodness. Because UFC, their problem, they need to get another star. Like how we just ran through all those people in boxing. We really can't do the same with UFC.
The problem is Dana White. He need to pay his fighters.
Oh, it's not just pay. He need to market them.
But he need to pay
got
them
all these
too.
connects with ESPN.
He need to pay them too.
Exactly.
Yo,
pay them and market them.
The top boxers is guaranteed 7 or 8 figures. Yo, no one in UFC make 7 figures.
Exactly.
Except for Dana.
Make those 6 figures.
Except for Dana.
Exactly. He is straight mafia style on them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if he's not careful, that's the thing where, to me, I low key took that Jake Paul a little bit more serious because 7 figures, close to 7 figures, these dudes make when they fight him. Shit.
Well, you know, women was only making $3,000-$4,000 a fight. And I don't really a big fan of Jake Paul, but I respect his gangster getting these women $500,000 for that fight, and that was a damn good fight. Although my fellow New Yorker Amanda Serrano, she got robbed. She got jacked.
That was New York. I have no idea how you lost a fight when your opponent don't even remember the last half because they was damn near knocked out on their feet for the whole last half. Katie was knocked out on her feet for the whole last half of that fight. But
that was
somehow she won. Get the hell out of here.
That was a straight New York City mugging, man. She got mugged, man. Serrano got mugged. She got stick up kid rolled up. Yo, run it. I want your belt. Boom. Smash that shit.
We could look at the numbers, and the numbers will show. Serrano, if you even watch the fight, Serrano it was a good fight up to the 6th round. Then all of a sudden, she was staggering all over.
Yes.
And then from that point on, I'm telling you, the way she was staggering, she couldn't get into any bar here in America. And I'm including New Orleans, my hometown. She couldn't get into any bar.
And the last couple rounds was happening to Serrano. She punched herself out, throwing all those blows. She punched herself out, and she didn't have
exactly. And here's the one good thing Katie did: ate all those punches.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Because she would come back with a 1-2. 1-2. Let me stagger my ass back.
Well, you know the power.
7 and 8 rounds. 1-2. Pop, 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 pop.
The powers to be and mainstream media, they love that Rocky bullshit and the Hoosiers bullshit. They always like that shit, man. You know, you can eat 1,000 punches, but you still standing. You can't knock me down, Ray. If you ever see Raging Bull, you couldn't knock me down, Ray. When Jake LaMotta fought Ray Robinson for the 5th time, and Ray Robinson beat the fuck out of Jake LaMotta, and Jake LaMotta just walked by his corner afterwards. Couldn't knock me down, Ray.
Shit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, man, that ain't. That's not how it's supposed to be. You get. I see it as we can look at numbers, we can do a lot of things. But if I'm watching this with my own 2 eyes and I see it's You look like you getting your ass whooped.
Yo, it was
Like you look like you getting toe up in
well, it was the eyeball test last night because I told my brother and I told Capes, yo, Canelo, you losing this fight. And sure enough, he did. Yo, because like I said, when they go to the judges, like I said, I know Dimitri Corner was nervous because Canelo, he's the biggest star in boxing, and I've seen a lot of fights. I was telling them, Norton broke Ali jaw, beat the fuck out of Ali, and Norton won a split decision. Like I said, man, when you got a name, that whole water in boxing.
Yeah. And well, yeah. I mean, it's pretty. Well, good point. Not enough Puerto Ricans brought.
Oh no, it was a lot of Balik was in the house that night. In New York. No, you can't say
that was in New York, right?
No, it was in New York. There was a lot of Puerto Ricans there. There was a lot of Puerto Ricans there. Yo, it was just that, there were no Puerto Rican judges. That's the problem.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. All right, moving on to the next topic. What do we got? Oh, the next topic is the NFL post-draft. With the conclusion of the NFL post-draft and most of the big names and free agencies being signed, who do we think will, with the next year, what do we think the NFL will look like with division rankings? Who do we think will win the conference? And who do we think will win it all?
Oh, well, it's hard to say. I got you really gotta, the season gotta start. The first and even up to mid season, you can't tell who's gonna be the champ because the Rams, after 8 games, they were good, but they didn't look like
that they hit that stride.
Yeah. The Bengals,
I ain't got no problem.
It was all right, but the Bengals lost to the Jets.
Yeah, so, that's true. And here's my thing. Here's the way I see it. I'll start with the weakest conference. To me, the weakest conference, of course, the NFC East.
Oh, of course.
The Eagles made a lot of great moves, but they're still, to me, going to finish second to the Cowboys. and here's the thing. Let me tell you something. I know we might have a couple Cowboys fans watching.
Oh,
let me tell you, let me brace you. I'm not trying to be Stephen A. or Shannon. I think the Cowboys are good enough for the NFC East. If they were in the AFC West, let's get something straight. AFC North, let's get something straight. Finishing dead last. They finish in dead last. If you swap them out with any of the other teams. But the NFC East, they'll finish first. Because I still don't believe in Nick Sirianni. I don't believe in him at all. I think he should have never been hired as the head coach. They are surrounding him. Great. They're surrounding Jalen Hurts with good pieces. He ain't going to be coached up right.
But there's a head coach. There's a head coach worse than Sirianni in the NFC East. Want to know his name is? Fucking Mike McCarthy, man. But hold
on a second. Before I get to Mike McCarthy, he is, he should have never been hired. I never said that he should have been hired. He's absolutely one of the worst. But the problem is, Nick Sirianni's coordinators, they're just like him. They should have never been hired. Dan Quinn is a damn good coach. And if you notice, they did a lot of winning with that defense.
Yeah.
There's a lot of winning they did with that defense.
Yeah.
And Kellen Moore gets bailed out because if you look, just look at it. When they play NFC East teams with NFC East coaching and NFC East defenses, though they score and look so good. And then when they play someone outside of the NFC East, what's wrong with the offense? What's wrong with Dak? What's wrong? And that's the thing that's so frustrating. What's wrong with Ezekiel Elliott? Well, what's wrong with Kellen Moore? Why are we not bringing him up?
Well, Kellen Moore is your prototypical NFL coach now. You got to look like a model from Abercrombie and Finch to become a head coach now in the NFL. You know, you can't, like I said, look at my man that was the interim coach from the Raiders. What's it? Brashia. What was his name?
I think Steve Bischoff, not Steve
G.
Bischoff.
Bashot. Yeah.
Steve Bischoff.
Yeah. Yo, man. Yo, he should have got some votes for coach of the year because, man, the ship was sinking, the ship was on fire, and he held that shit together. He had receivers killing people while driving drunk, motherfuckers threatening people.
The original head coach
Yes.
was out here embarrassing the whole NFL and almost
Yes.
took down some owners if he wanted to.
Like I said, yo, the whole house was in flames, man. The shit was tumbling down. It was the Hindenburg burning. And he held that shit together and got them in the playoffs. And it wasn't for some refs that had some money probably on the game against Cincinnati, they probably would have beat Cincinnati.
Would have beat Cincinnati, and that's the thing. That's the thing. He got them to the playoffs and almost beat the eventual Super Bowl representatives out of that conference. Almost beat them.
But
that's
they gave the job to your homeboy,
man,
Josh McDaniel. Josh McDaniel. That motherfucker.
Well, here's the thing. Speaking of the AFC West, I'll get to them last, and you'll see. Spoiler alert: the Raiders will finish last this year. They're going to finish last.
Oh,
there's no debate. I think we all know that. That's not even real spoiler alert. But you look at the Cowboys will finish first. The Eagles will finish second. I think the Commanders will do third, and then coming in fourth will be the Giants. They just don't have those rookies. They have this is a great rookie class. Undercover, this is but the problem is they're going to have to depend on that rookie class.
No, the Giants hired the wrong Bryant. They hired the wrong Bryant. That was their problem. They hired Brian Daboll.
This is the same Brian Daboll who was in Miami and flamed out as a Dolphins offensive coordinator.
Oh, well, look at Josh McDaniel. His first draft pick was what? Tim Tebow? Yeah, that really worked out for him, huh?
But you look at now.
He came to Indianapolis, right? The 23rd hour.
Yeah, don't get me started on that. We've already talked about that.
And he was just like, yo, I quit. So all his staff members, all his coordinators and assistant coaches
bounced
and staff
got screwed over.
He told them, yo, 2 fingers, deuces, I'm out. I'm going back to the Colt up in New England.
Yeah. So you got now the NFC, because you got the NFC East, then my beloved NFC South that has my Saints. I love my Saints, but they're going to finish second to the Bucks. The Falcons will finish third, and I believe the Panthers are going to be picking number 1 overall next year. They're going to finish dead last in the whole NFL. They are an absolute trash dumpster fire. Matt Rule, sorry, bro.
You don't believe in son Sam Donald?
Anyway, let's not do this.
The ghost. I see ghosts.
Let's not do this.
I see dead people.
You got the NFC North. I think the Bears are going to win the NFC North this year. The Packers lost too much and did not replace it. Aaron Rodgers, to me, is the greatest quarterback of all time, the actual greatest quarterback of all time. And then coming up will be Patrick Mahomes to take
I wouldn't say that, man. He's no Joe Montana, man. Come on, man.
Well, there you go.
And I'm not a Joe Montana fan, but come on, man.
But you got the Packers will finish second. I think the Lions will finish third, and the Vikings are going to struggle. I think the Vikings are going to struggle this upcoming year.
Well, and all you gamblers, always remember this. If Kirk Cousins' game start at 1:00, bet on the Vikings. If Kirk Cousins' game start at 4:00 or
later,
after, roll against
you're gonna blow it.
Yes, roll against.
You're gonna blow it. And if it start at 4:00, he might get rolled because that primetime game. That 4:00 or later, it might not be lost. He might get absolutely rolled.
Yo,
Oh,
I remember that last year. I remember that late game against Dallas. I put my money on Dallas, and it started out bad. I was like, "Oh snap! Is the Vikings going to beat Dallas?" But Dallas turned it around. They end up covering that game. I was like, "Oof, oof." So the Kirk Cousins late game badness continues. So I was
it's
like, "Yo,
wonderful. It's
yeah."
wonderful for me because
You know his record as a
well,
starter is
nuts.
59, 59, and 2. He won 59, he lost
Well, and he
59.
plays like it.
Yeah.
He plays like it. He'll give
Yo,
you a lot of great plays and then a lot of what the heck?
yo. If you look up mediocre in the dictionary, you will see Kirk Cousins right there. That's him.
Well,
Mediocre.
at one point it used to be the Andy Dalton line where if you are better than Andy Dalton, you're a good quarterback. If you're worse than Andy Dalton, you're a bad quarterback.
Now
Well,
it's
Kirk
Kirk.
Cousins took that frame from him.
Yo, now it's
It is
Kirk.
the Kirk Cousins line. If you're better than Kirk Cousins, you're good. If you're worse than Kirk Cousins, you're horrible.
Kirk Cousins, the Kyrie Irving of the NFL. You know that, right? You know he's the Kyrie
You like
Irving.
that, right? You
What?
like that.
Yeah, yo, he's the Kyrie Irving in the NFL. He refused to take that jab, man.
But he ain't going around acting like he's starting a cult.
Yes, he is. Yo, he's a religious zealous, just like Wentz. That's how Wentz got kicked out of Indianapolis, man, because he didn't take the jab.
No, he got kicked out of Indianapolis because he sucked. I hate people don't fall into that trap, Devo. He sucks.
Oh no, he's not that good.
Don't get me wrong.
But
he looks like a great quarterback. He plays.
He's also
god awful.
No, Wentz is mentally weak. He is not strong. He is not strong of mind. He can't handle pressure. Yo,
he's not strong of mind, and you can tell he's not strong of mind because he ain't strong at reading the damn defense.
Because he had one thing to do week 17. One motherfucking thing to do that most teams did all season was to beat Jacksonville. And he couldn't. And Jacksonville, it wasn't even a close game. Jacksonville beat them from start to finish.
Tore his ass out the frame. Speaking of Jacksonville and the Colts, the AFC South, I got the Titans finish first. I got the Colts because they got Matt Ryan. They'll finish second. They'll get into the wild card. Jacksonville is actually going to jump the Texans this year. The Texans are going to finish last. They really have. Shout out to Dexter Stingley coming from LSU with all that success. I need to make sure you bring all your trophies with you from LSU because you're going to need them because that's the last time you had success.
Lovey going to have them playing ball.
Yeah, you're going to have them playing ball, but it's the who. They ain't got nobody. They got Dexter Stingley. They just drafted
Derek, man, not Dexter. Derek. Who is Dexter Stingley, man?
Derek Stingley. That's what I've been saying. Derek Stingley. Anyway, Derek Stingley.
Did he just say Dexter?
Look, that's the only guy they got. They ain't got nobody.
They got Davis. They got the quarterback from Stanford.
You believe that if you want to. Go ahead, believe that if you want to. And Davis is gonna look, man.
Hey, Houston got at least 22.
They're coming in last.
Houston got at least 22.
Let's understand. Lovey knew what time it was. What time it was. They were coming in last.
No,
even if they had their goal.
Houston knew what time it was because they were about to hire McCone until Brian Flores slapped a fucking lawsuit on the NFL.
Right. And they still coming. They still would have came in last.
Yo,
Jacksonville has made a lot of good moves.
Do you really think Lovey would have been hired if Brian Flores didn't?
Lovey didn't want no more head coaching jobs. He was good. He didn't want to deal with this. Look, man, it's a damn shame. Yes, but the Texans are probably, if it wasn't for the Jets, the Texans would be the worst ran franchise, and they've actually made the playoffs recently, and they're still ran apps. I mean,
well, you see, nobody want to play for them. Deshaun left. J.J. Watts left. Everybody's like, Merciless retired. Nobody want to play with them. They're
That
like,
clown nuts. That's what I'm saying. That clown nuts O'Brien traded away Hopkins, traded him away, and I don't know.
well, Bill O'Brien was trying to do all that shit to get fired, so he could come back because he thought Belichick was going to quit, and he wanted the New England job.
When he wanted out, I'm telling you, man, it is. And then they have a president. You know who their president of football operations is?
No, not that. Another religious freak, Jack Easterly. Yeah. He was
started out as the Patriots
team chaplain.
The team chaplain.
And now, yo,
he's the president of football operations.
Yo, he's the love guru. It's like having the love guru as your vice president of operations.
They ran out one of their great guys. They had a GM there.
Yeah.
Who brought in J.J. Watt, DeAndre Hopkins, who brought in Deshaun Watson, had them as a legitimate playoff team. Next thing you know, they fire him, have O'Brien run it. They had literally for a season. I've never heard anything like this in my life. No GM at all. So while every other team has an actual GM and GM staff, and they're always recruiting, this dude is the head coach. And also, who do we want to pick up in free agency? How do we need to build this roster? How do we need to maintain? Because here's the thing: a GM is more than draft and free agency.
But
you know they maintain the roster as well as
the way professional sports is nowadays. You can't wear both hats anymore. You have to have a GM
Look,
on the phone.
Devo, I'm in Dallas.
Yeah.
They've known that for the last 30 years.
Yes. Back in the 60s and 70s, Vince Lombardi was able to do both. A few players, Hank Stram was able to do both. A few coaches was able to do both. You can't do that now. It's just too complicated. You go put it in your game plan and then get on the phone and make sure you got the right personnel. You can't do that. You not enough hours in the day.
Sell up your salary cap, especially now with the salary cap.
Yep.
Lining up your contracts with free agency, maintaining your roster, and
you
then
maintain your roster.
You build that roster through the last half of the draft, trying to find that last half of the draft through primary key free agencies. Who are these key free agents? How can we get a hold of them? Because the top free agents is just like college. They got 4 or 5 suitors.
Getting that phone call 3 a.m. that one of your players got a DUI or is beating up somebody. GM handles that, not the head coach. The head coach get called after the GM tells them, this is what's going on.
Exactly.
You can't.
There's few coaches that can handle that, and most coaches today that handle it. Like Bill Belichick is in charge in New England. Before Sean Payton retired, he was in charge in New Orleans. Before he lost his damn mind, John Gruden was in charge in Oakland.
He didn't lose his mind. He just wasn't good. He was. I told everybody when he got hired in Oakland, that fool is fugazi. He acts like he know what the F he's doing. And look at all his draft picks. Look at all his draft picks.
Don't get me started.
Yeah, look at all his draft picks.
He screwed that up. But those head coaches, those are the 3. All the rest, listen, you need to listen to your GM because while you're training your players and you're game planning, he is gone. He is looking at that Division III wide receiver. Someone is looking and he's talking with his scouts and has them on the phone with that Division II quarterback.
Oh,
he's talking with, Brett Favre started out in Atlanta. A lot of people don't know that. Brett Favre actually started out with the Falcons.
Oh, yeah, I know that.
Someone found him. Another scout found, who is these next guys who...
I know that. I'm from New York. The Jets do you know the New York Jets was supposed to draft Brett Favre? Instead, they drafted Browning Nagel. Do you know who Browning Nagel is?
Hey, man, You know the New Orleans Saints were supposed to draft Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah, I know that.
You know
I
they were
know
supposed
that.
to draft Lamar Jackson?
Yeah, yeah. Now with
Well,
Lamar Jackson, most teams passed on Lamar. You
yes,
remember? Yeah,
yes, I remember. I
yes.
remember. I remember them passing up because at the last second, oh, let's get this defensive end.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I love you, Mickey. I love you, buddy. I love
And
you.
another thing, everybody complaining that there wasn't that many QBs drafted in this year draft. I don't blame the QBs. I
The
blame
coaching.
the QB coaches and the
The
offensive
coaching.
coordinators in college football.
Let me
They
tell
don't
you
know
something.
how to coach on these QBs.
Let me help you out with that because I've seen this with my own eyes. There are, I've said this before, a lot of people in positions because it's their buddy that's in power. They did not earn it. They are not qualified for it. Flat out, they are not qualified for it. So you get also these coaches, they aren't doing their job to prepare this quarterback to play at an optimal level. It's just let me fit him into my scheme, not make him better. I got to fit him into my scheme. And I'm seeing it, and you can clearly see it when this quarterback has all this talent and just cannot come to fruition in college. Uh, if here's a quick indicator, if they were an absolute dog in high school, and then in college, the college they go to, they just flame out and they are not on drugs or they don't have a legal incident. I am telling you as a fact, that is coaching.
Oh, it is
That is
coaching
coaching. If they
because
flame out or if they don't reach their full potential. Because here's the one thing I will say. Petrino, he is a scumbag. But I'll be damned. He actually knows what he's doing on the
yeah.
offense. He
But
runs a
how
pro
many
style offense.
but how many quarterbacks now come into the NFL that don't even know how to put their hands under center?
It's so many because we do this fast pace and zone read because of the angles, and now quarterbacks are a lot of times now back into the running game. In the 80s and 90s, they were taken out, and now recently, these last 10 years, they've been brought back into the running game. They put them in shotgun.
Yeah.
And now it's like you can't. Here's another thing. You can't take it from center. You can't say a play because a lot of times it comes from the sideline.
From the
And
sideline, yes.
everybody turns towards the sideline and gets the signal.
I
So you
used
can't
to
run offense.
I used to teach my youth football team. Yo, I told my quarterback, check the linebacker, check the safety, see how they lining up. And then if I say check with me, you call the play. Yo, these kids was 12 and 13-year-old. And my quarterback was calling audibles on the line.
And,
And
and that's the
we got
thing
these
with
dudes making
coaching.
millions now that never called an audible in college.
They don't understand because they don't understand it. They don't understand what to look at. They don't understand a real passing window because the scheme is you're going to pass it to this guy if this guy moves, and then you'll pass it to X guy if Y guy moves, and then with those two things, throw it out to the stands because it's a lot of scared passing concepts. Just throw it out into the stands instead of expanding.
There you go.
These guys how to actually
Z look at you. You make eye contact. It's like, look, I could beat this guy, and boom, and you just and you be like, okay, whatever play is called, I'm gonna hit that man on the street pattern. He say he could beat this man.
And here's the thing: they are abusing the passing game. Like that's why, to me, Mike Leach will never win anything big. He can win big games, but he will never consistently be in that top four. Beat the LSUs when they're running, the Alabamas, the Clemson. He won't even beat the Notre Dames. Why? because you're too imbalanced. And when you abuse it, bro, it's real easy for me to stop you. It's real easy because I know. Because here's the thing: we're leading the league in passing. Well, you're throwing the ball 60 times a game. You better be leading.
Yes. Well, that was the whole thing with Oklahoma back in the 80s. They ran up everything in the Big Eight because that triple option or whatever they played. A team like Miami that had a balanced offensive attack
they got that work
and a good defense, they always got stomped.
Exactly, because hey man, it's either one out of two things. I'm either coming to hit your quarterback, or I'm just going to cover and wait for him to throw. I have 8 covering 4 or 5. If I got especially if I got a dog pass rusher, I got 8 covering 4. I got 8 covering 4. Good luck, brother. And that's where now you're always going to run into problems. And so that's coming, and these kind of things are coming into the league. And so now that's one reason why I say, look, back to the Eagles, man, they setting that dude up. They said he has developed none. And we want to blame it on Jalen Hurts. But when Jalen Hurts, you saw a clear development from when he left Alabama, went to Oklahoma, and all of a sudden it was like a light flood on.
And shout out to Jalen Hurts that didn't walk past those Washington fans that fell in front of him. Yo, a lot of players just would have kept on walking. Remember when the railing broke and the fans fell? You know, and it was funny because when they got out, he took a selfie with them. But Jalen Hurts, he seemed like he's a good dude. But in closing, what's up with the Longhorns? Texas, the state of Texas had the most players drafted. The state of Texas, and UT has 0. Nothing.
Let me tell you what's going on. As someone in here in Texas, the boosters are absolutely unrealistic. They, to me, shout out, good job, good business move going to the SEC. But now you're really going to find out the truth, because if you're losing to TCU and you're losing to Iowa State, good luck against the Mississippi States, the LSUs, the Alabamas, the Georgias, the Floridas, the Auburns. You might, it's going to get ugly. And I'm telling you, it could get late early. And the problem is this: they're unrealistic, and they aren't supporting their staff. They aren't supporting that football program the way they're supposed to. Let me tell you the difference, and to bring this point home, Devo, the difference between Alabama and Texas. Understand, if you go down to Austin, if I make a 3-hour drive to Austin, it is so much stuff out there. The city of Austin, it is a beautiful place. And Austin, I believe if you drive another 2 hours south, you get San Antonio. If you drive 2 hours north, you're in the DFW Metroplex. So you're surrounded by stuff all around.
Yeah.
Have you been to Tuscaloosa, Devo?
Trust me, just by the name Tuscaloosa, other than Crimson Tide football, you might have a Piggly Wiggly.
Let me help you. There's nothing out there.
You might have.
We used to drive through it all the time.
Might have a barbecue
big signs for Alabama football and Nick Saban's face out there. There is nothing out there. So why? Why are they pulling people? They're the main competitor in Louisiana against LSU. Even though LSU still gets most of Louisiana, Alabama still gets some. Why are they pulling them out of Baton Rouge? Why are they still pulling them out of Florida?
Oh, because St. Nick.
Why are they still pulling them out of Texas?
Because St. Nick got
all those. Well, it's not just that. Hold on. Let me really bring this home to you, because it's what St. Nick does. He has the whole program understanding we are going to be this good, and boosters understand. I run this, we will be good.
Well, that's the whole
thing. If you are not dedicated enough to winning, We will replace, and that's him talking to a booster. We'll
Yeah.
replace you.
Oh, well.
You
Nick
are
said-
going to be in on this, or we'll replace you. You notice how many Alabama players have you heard in trouble? That's not by accident. How many Alabama players have you heard? Like, they actually are the #1 transfer school as well. And reason being, it's not because people don't like them, because they hate, oh, I hate it here at Alabama. No, they tell you your freshman year, understand, if you are not competing for a starting job in 365 days, we're going to help you transfer because you will never play here.
Mm-hmm.
And that's and Alabama is dedicated. They have everybody from the biggest booster to the intern. You are dedicated to winning. There are no second places here. We lose one game, that is the season. We don't play around here. We are dedicated. We're going to get that best player.
Well, some of these schools need to get some organizational skills, because it seems like Nick got it on lock. And regardless if it's South by Southwest or everything, UT has the money, has the funds. They should be top 5, just like Alabama every year.
But they're not. The thing is, they're not dedicated. They're not dedicated. Look, man, UT has this. As someone who's here in this state, UT has a sense of arrogance about them. Alabama does not. Alabama,
Alabama do.
No, let me tell you, because I deal with people who've worked and work at Alabama. They don't have a sense of arrogance. What they have is they have an understanding, and this is why they don't have a sense of arrogance, because they're not Nick Saban. And I'm not talking about the fans and the people around the program. I'm talking about the people in the program. The people in the Alabama program, they absolutely, you look them in the eyes and you see it is, bro, I am here. I am here to do a job. I cannot screw this up. This is from player to intern. If I screw this up, I know what's coming. I have to be the best or one of the top performers here. I'm not allowed to screw up. Where if you go to Texas, now you deal with Texas. In Texas program, it's more of, we deserve this. This is who we are. We are the state of Texas college. We're college for the state of Texas. And that's what I'm talking about with the arrogance and the difference, where one, they understand and they know everyone has one goal. The other one, they got to get rid of that arrogance, understand who they are.
It's not working if Texas State and North Texas is getting more players drafted than UT. Well, let's go on to the next topic.
Real quick, shout out to my alma mater, North Texas UNT.
Yeah, well, they had more players drafted than UT. So, so they must be doing something.
Good job, UNT.
Mm-hmm.
So, next topic. I didn't even get to finish going through. I'll finish going through next year or next week. We'll finish going through with the predictions. Deion Sanders made a comment about HBCUs, and when they come to high schools, how are they pictured coming through high schools by high school coaches? When it comes to recruiting, how are they perceived and how are they treated? And how are they treated? Deion Sanders released a video stating that the HBCUs, pretty much paraphrasing, are being treated as second rates, and they are keeping the best players away from the HBCU coaches at particular high schools for recruiting, and saving certain players just for the HBCUs, not giving them full access to the whole players as they would for other colleges. What do you think about that, Devo?
Well, that's nothing new. Always been like that. So my whole thing, the AFL built their league on the HBCUs, because during segregation, that's where all the top black players went to the SWAC and the MEAC. And that's where the Oakland Raiders, the Kansas City Chiefs, the San Diego Chargers, the New York Jets went and pretty much found their teams and made their teams competitive. I always heard about a story how Kansas City had Otis Taylor. The Dallas Cowboys were supposed to have, and Otis Taylor was a great wide receiver on Kansas City back in the 60s and 70s. And he was supposed to go to the Dallas Cowboys. And Al Davis took Otis Taylor and hid him out in a motel. And then when he got word that Dallas knew what motel he was in, had him jump in a car to go to another motel. And Al Davis was running Oakland. He did this just so Kansas City was able to sign Otis Taylor for the AFL. But I'm just saying, and when Pittsburgh became good because they hired Bill Nunn as a scout, and Bill Nunn exclusively went to HBCUs and built up that Pittsburgh Steelers team. Donnie Shell, Mel Blount, John Stallworth. All these players came from HBCUs. All these players are Hall of Famers. Dirk Winston. I could go on for days naming HBCU alums that was on the Pittsburgh Steelers. And same thing with the Oakland Raiders. Gene Upshaw. In fact, Otis Sistrunk didn't even go to college. Warren Wells. All these players, once again, HBCU. Marlon Briscoe. So all this been going on ever since I've been watching football. So this is nothing new. Jerry Rice didn't get any offers from any SEC schools. He went to Mississippi Valley. Mississippi Valley was one of the first schools that started the no huddle, 4 and 5 receivers wide, boom, offenses. And you see how it turned out for Jerry Rice in the NFL.
Walter Payton.
Say what?
Walter Payton.
Walter Payton. Yeah. His brother Eddie Payton. Yeah. Walter Payton. Mississippi State or Ole Miss. They were even looking at Walter.
Steve McNair.
Yep. Alcorn State. Yeah. He was so good, ESPN too televised every game of
Alcorn State.
His senior year.
Then you got Bubba Smith.
Bubba Smith went to Michigan.
Oh, he went to Michigan State. My bad.
But Bubba Smith is from Texas. And none of the big Texas team, nobody from the Southwest Conference recruited him. That's how, Michigan State was the first predominantly white school that had more blacks on their roster than whites. And that's why they won the national championship in '66. They had Bubba Smith. They had Pete. He was an offensive coordinator for years. I know it was Rodney Pete's uncle that was a quarterback for them. And they and that was the school, that was Michigan State best team since recently.
Right.
But yeah.
You spoke of a lot of the history. I'm gonna speak of what happens now. And what happens now is it's astounding. Here where I'm at, I've coached college football and high school football, and I'm here in Texas. And one of the things that is blatant, they don't even try to hide it. They have, when you walk in, a lot of the bigger schools will hand you a sheet, and they'll hand you a sheet, and it has, here's the Division I prospects, here's the Division II prospects, Division III prospects. And the coach will go over, depending on what school you're from. If I walk in and I have Alabama on my chest, oh, hey, man, here's the our two best guys. If I walk in and I have Division II, A&M Commerce on my chest, hey, man, here's the division. Don't worry about any of these Division I guys. They're not going to go to you. Here is the guys that will go to you. And if I walk in and I have Alcorn State on my chest, okay, here we're not even going like it's not hidden. These white players ain't gonna go to you. Here are the Division II black, and it's like, wait a minute. Like literally what he said is literally what happens.
Yeah.
You're looking on this sheet and you're looking because you're not going in blind. As a college coach, I've been on both sides. I know who you're coming as a high school coach. I know who you want to see. And as the college coach, I already know who I'm coming there to see.
Mhm.
I'm just seeing, did I miss something? Is there something I missed?
But what HBCUs should do is take that undersized player, that 175-pound linebacker, take them, redshirt them, get your nutrition program and your weight program up. So after he redshirt, he bulks up from 175 to 220, 225. So therefore, a lot of teams, I know TCU have done that for years. They would take undersized players, redshirt them,
I would say
boom.
TCU has been notorious for that. But here's the thing of what you're talking about, what they should do. It goes along with it. What they should actually do is this. Because Deion Sanders is one of the key parts of this.
Mm-hmm.
They need to get in touch with the NFL, and draft or not, they need to get more scouts out to the practice. And this is what it will do. Because you can take these kids and you can have them do visits. And now on this visit, they just happen to see, not so much because it'll affect, these are a decent facility. Because low-key, they have good facilities in these HBCUs. A good couple of them have decent facilities. They have good players. But imagine what it would be when they scan and they see, that's Dallas Cowboys, that's Minnesota Vikings, that's Cleveland Browns, that's Indianapolis Colts. Oh, wait, y'all have NFL scouts out here? Yeah, this is a professional program. What did you not think? And now they see, there's an actual pipeline if I come here. That's one. Two, with your nutritional program, they need to key in. And it's something I think the military services should do. All the service academies should do. Leave those 5 stars. Fine. If you want to hide them from me, fine. We're going to get those 4 and 3 stars.
Even 2 stars.
And we're going to stash them away.
Mm-hmm.
You will never see them. And we're going to make our rosters bigger because we're going to accommodate we're going to have a bigger stashed away team. So it'll be like a 2-year cycle where the HBCU is probably going to suck. But you have a full team stashed away of just understanding your plays. Mm-hmm. And this is where the HBCU is going to have to bite the bullet and keep a coaching staff in place because it will be 3 years. That's very important of understanding your plays, understanding your system, getting nutritionally well fed. And now this 180-pound linebacker in 3 years is a redshirt sophomore. He's 220 pounds. And now instead of running a 4.9, he's worked his way up to 4.7, 4.6 at 220 pounds. Dudes go into the NFL looking like that with those numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And now you got NFL scouts, big-time players. And then the last thing, what Deion did and what Hugh Douglas will be able to do, marketing.
Hugh Jackson.
I keep calling him Hugh Douglas. Hugh Jackson is able to do, along with Eddie George, marketing. Now we're marketable. Now you're going to see us. You'll see us on ESPN. Now we're going to sell these products. We're going to sell the HBCU products. We're going to sell them. And we're going, because that's one thing that's brilliant about the Bayou Classic. Look, someone from Louisiana, those teams have sucked for years.
Yeah, but another thing HBCU's got to do is get into the Division I AA championship tournament. They got to start putting teams in those tournaments and try to dominate those tournaments. try to beat the Stony Brooks and the James Madisons. And
Oh, the A&M Commerce,
yes,
the Minnesota Duluth,
mm-hmm.
the Colorado Mines. Those are the Division
Yes.
two. You get in there and dominate those schools. Shit,
Mm-hmm.
I'm,
The
I'm
what
telling
North
you, you're going to smack.
what is it? North Dakota, or North Dakota State,
It's North Dakota State. That's
North
FCS.
Dakota
That's
State,
Division one FCS.
Montana State. All those schools every year they are powerhouse in Division One AA, and that's where HBCUs should shoot for. Let's be on their level.
Let's get on. But here's the thing: if they can get into that, because that's the path, is to get into that Division one that FCS. You get into the FCS, and now all of a sudden, I'm telling you, 2 years of domination. What are all these schools doing? They're moving. Okay, now we're going to the Mountain West. Now we're going to Conference USA. Now we're playing Division one schools. You get one good year of domination there. Now you're bumping up. All of a sudden, you find yourself in a Big Ten, Pac-12, and you get that Pac-12 money.
If Deion made Jackson State a perennial power in FCS, one of these Power 5 schools
is coming to snatch him up.
Is going to snatch him up. Yep.
Which is it. I hope he continues what he's doing, and I will take 3 years of Brian Kelly sucking and they get his ass out of there, because that's who I wanted to come to LSU.
But Deion must be the money. If they come right with his money, he's going to be out.
LSU will dip it. Like I said, LSU will dip into the Louisiana government funds. They've already done it for Les Miles.
And Deion don't have to put on a fake Southern accent.
No,
like
he actually from there.
Yeah, like Brian Kelly.
Yeah, don't get me started with that.
Yeah. Remember that? Bro. Remember that fake accent?
Yo, I'm like, man, this dude ain't even.
I was just like, look, if I was the coach at LSU, I would come down with my New York accent and tell you folks, look, I'm bringing a championship to y'all.
That's all we care about.
Yo, word up. You know what I'm saying?
Man, Les Miles is from the Midwest. He is the goofiest of the goofy.
Yes. And then you gonna dance. Then you gonna dance with a quarterback. You gonna have a video dance with a quarterback. Yeah, come on, man.
Look, man. Here's the thing. This is why I missed Ed Orgeron, and I'm kind of disappointed they fired him. Even though I understood why it happened.
Ed's self-destructive, man.
Yeah. He was an amazing recruiter, and you saw it. LSU recruits itself. So you will always have good to decent classes. You just, as long as you're not an idiot, you'll get decent recruiting classes. Ed was able to make it great, top-notch recruiting classes. Then you get in Brian. Here's the thing. Brian Kelly's a statistician. He ain't no recruiter. Every time Notre Dame played somebody good, Notre Dame, he is a statistician. He's a tactician. This is the first tactician we've had in a while.
Ed can't be hitting on a booster's pregnant wife.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Ed can't go on Fox News when his black players want to protest police brutality and injustice in the United States.
That's what I'm saying.
But
here's the thing.
When George Floyd happened, what did Nick Saban?
Is not Fox News. He is not Fox News.
What did Nick Saban do the minute Chavin murdered George Floyd? Nick Saban looked like Al Capone with his black. Well, it looked like Casey and the Sunshine Band, and all his brothers walking around Tuscaloosa protesting.
Exactly. He had no problem. He runs that. And that's why he's Nick Saban. He's smart enough to know that. And here's the thing. You could be as conservative, blue line, back to blue as you want. But if you're on Alabama staff and you cost them one recruit, you were on Alabama staff. But keep your mouth shut. Your politics follow whatever the fuck this recruit says. That's your politics follow whatever it is to get this recruit in the door. That's why I am the way I am. I'm apolitical because I'm going to sit in this dude's living room. Hey, whatever you say, brother.
I always loved that movie Blue Chip with Nick
Yeah.
Nolte came dancing into the Pentecostal church. He went to Alfre Woodard house talking about, yo, I love the Catholic Church. He went to the house in Indiana and told the father, well, I'm a Southern Baptist. Good. I don't like the white.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yo,
That's
he
how,
was,
that is not a lie. That is
yes,
absolutely
he
not.
was
Nick Saban knows how to do the electric slide and line dance. You can watch the video.
And he's famous for the nuts jokes. They say he's famous for, yo, look at these. These what, coach? These nuts.
I'm telling you, Nick is not that's one of the things that separate him from a lot of his counterparts. Here's another one. Lane Kiffin drove him crazy, but Lane Kiffin also knows what it takes. That's why, even though I hate Ole Miss, I hate them, but they're going to overtake Mississippi State because Lane Kiffin knows what it is. He knows what time it is.
Well,
he has no problem being honest.
Well, Mike Leach during the George Floyd situation, he posted a picture with a noose, with a lady knitting a noose. So you see how much in tune he is with whatever's going on in the world.
I'm telling you, he a kooky motherfucker. But still, he's a brilliant mind. Michael Leach is a brilliant mind.
Offensive mind.
Exactly. He's a brilliant offensive mind, but it's like, bro, ABCs. That's one thing to go over to college basketball. Calipari, he'll tell you ABCs, always be recruiting. That's why I'm here on ESPN doing the X, Y, and Z during June.
Yeah, but Leach, but Leach is one of those coaches that don't realize there's other two phases in football other than offense
and recruiting. Let's not forget about that. And recruiting.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll bring you to my system. My system. And it's like, bro, you have this brilliant mind. You got, and you're the head coach. I need you to be the head coach. Because imagine if you are this good and you actually have a defense to back it up. Imagine that.
Yep. And what a lot of these schools do, they take their leftover players that probably wasn't going to play offense and just put them on defense. And that's all. Instead of recruiting somebody strictly for defense, you know.
I'm telling you, man, it's nuts. I can't. The way they do it and the way they segment these things out and treat HBCUs, it's crazy. That's why I'm happy to see what Deion's doing and how he's getting in and telling the truth. Like, he's telling the truth. Florida State is going to pay for this because not only, like, when Florida State was there, Florida State is going to lose, even though they're a perennial power. People forget they went 14 years in the top 5, finishing in the top 5. And now all of a sudden they were okay. They won a national championship in 2013 and then were really good, then became decent. And now they flat out suck. They suck right now.
Hey, man. Hey.
And they extended the quarterback. Extended the coach. They extended him. And I'm saying, at the same time, you hired this dude, you could have hired Deion. You knew you screwed up. You didn't hire Deion. Now Deion has taken 2 recruits, 2 of your top recruits from you this time. It's only going to get worse. That's what people don't understand. This is only going to get worse. This isn't going to get better.
And it's another thing.
Recruiting high school players only taking more.
But recruiting high school players is not that important anymore. The trick is building your team now is through the transfer portal. Yes, because a lot of people don't realize I hate when these mainstream a-holes mention the portal is killing college sports. No, it's not. Because when you pick up a player from the transfer portal, you got that player for the next 2 or 3 years. They can't if they transfer from your school, then they're gonna have to sit out and then come back like
Well,
like
and
the
to
old.
double up on your point, what they're doing is that old conservative view. I can't stand it. I also hate it. And to me, it's a flat out lie. They're in their feelings. What it's actually doing is actually adding. Once again, college football in the off season, they realize we can have an off. Even those clowns, we can have an off season too. Hell yeah, open up this transfer portal. Let's make it really open during the off season.
Well,
and now all of a sudden we get this parity, and we get this marketing.
College athletes are
with the UIL
are the only athletes in all sports, professional and amateur, that have true free agency, where now they could go to any school they want and get paid pretty much as they want. Because all the professional teams are worried about luxury tax, salary caps, and all that bullshit. Pretty much, if they go to the transfer portal, they go to, say, University of Texas and tell them, "Hey man, I'm worth $3 million a year. Trust me, a booster gonna pay that dude $3 million."
Exactly. It's gonna be it's gonna go through some little shell company, and he's gonna magically get his money.
No. You gotta realize NIL now is a nonprofit. It's a nonprofit, so therefore these boosters are shelling out these millions of dollars for these players, and they using it as a tax write-off.
And here's another thing. What did we talk about earlier? And you just brought it up with Texas. Hey man. Somebody brought it up with Miami, and hey, this is Miami, and they're going to make a way back. And I was, no, they're not. Do you think Alabama is going to let that happen? And what do you think they've been doing? Do you think this is going to now have Miami jump, or is Alabama now taking the next step with everyone else?
Yeah, well,
and that's what I'm saying.
Well,
these Alabama SEC dudes, we're the king, and now what makes you think this won't help us stay the king?
Well, Nick Saban know how to pivot, and you gotta realize Miami used to own Southern Florida. Now he got Florida Atlantic, Florida International.
Well, it's not just that.
It's South Florida.
It's, when the U in the 80s, when they came out and just had their own players, the whole nation took notice. And now the whole nation is in there. Like I said, Alabama has a strong recruiting. LSU has all of the SEC.
But Schellenberger, Jimmy Johnson, and even Dennis Erickson, and even Bush Davis,
all of the whole nation
they were smart enough
because of those guys.
But they were smart enough to keep those brothers in and from South Florida at the U. They were smart enough.
Well, it wasn't just keep them. A lot of people didn't even know. So that's what I'm saying. We can't, now the whole nation is going down there. So you have them going down in there, and you have them going in Texas. And that's where thing here in Texas is a business mogul. This is a business hub. And how are these Texans not understanding this? And these Texas boosters, hey, keep everyone here in Texas. Let's let everyone know what time it is. And they're still screwing it up. They're still going to screw it up.
Well, hiring Tommy Herman, hiring a head coach right now that got to go to AA meetings, and not supporting Charlie Strong. That's why the UT is in the situation they're in right now.
Yeah, it's absolutely nuts. It's nut sauce because there's no reason. There's no reason Alabama should be as great as it is, and UNT suck as much as it is. Yeah. But I know we coming to the end. I'm about to give it to you, but that's something that's always perplexed me, man. And that's what I'll end this show with. I'm gonna let you have it.
Well, my whole thing is I'm loving the NIL. Because I don't see anything wrong. Everybody's crying about why these players getting paid and all this. For years, the NCAA was generating billions of dollars, and only thing the players got were a pair of sneakers, a sweatsuit, and some books. Now, just like Isaiah Wong told the University of Miami, look, you gotta come up with at least 800,000. My family need this, and I ain't mad at the brother. Yo, UM made a run in the NCAA and damn near made the Final Four. So yeah, pay that man, pay everybody. And you know something, the NCAA could have squashed this about 20 years ago by doing a simple thing that paying starting players $5,000 a month and playing bench players about $3,000 a month. And that would have squashed everything. But nah, they was on that slave ship mentality. They was on that plantation mentality where these are student athletes, which
let me double up with you on that. This started back in the 40s.
Yeah.
How did it start? Because coaches, I don't even think they really had coaches first with college football. It was I believe it was Pop Warner, the first coach to ever get paid. I believe it was at Princeton because they wanted to be good. So he was the first non-faculty, non-teacher coach that got paid. And then from there, nobody else got paid. And they kept it like that. They kept that model. I believe it was the 30s or 40s. This is the 30s or 40s. And there was no huge money then. So it was understood and it made sense then.
No, but in the 50s.
20 years ago,
I forgot.
20 years ago, they were worth about $4 billion.
No, but there was a player. But how the NCAA came up with this marketing tool called student athlete. It was a player. I think he went to either Northwestern or Illinois.
Northwestern, I know you're talking about.
That sued the NCAA because he was.
Yes, he went to Northwestern.
Yes,
right.
Yes, and then all of a sudden they won the suit because they came up with these young men that play football and basketball are student athletes. And so therefore he didn't deserve any compensation for his injury.
Well, and they said compensation was the education that would provide future earnings. And here's the problem with that. That happens nowhere else. Understand, people need to understand. And I think now, especially, that's the one great thing about social media where people are actually getting to see the actual everyday life and everyday going on of a college athlete. And they see this is an actual job. This is a job.
But everybody in America is always talking about capitalism and free market, except we come to college sports. Do you know Greg Anthony had a team?
No, Greg idiots are saying that.
Greg Anthony had a t-shirt business when he played for UNLV that he had to close because they said that he can't make any extra money while he was on scholarship.
Right. And what sense does that make? Like, you wouldn't take that, because here's the thing. Greg Anthony had to do that, but you do understand that piano player, that trumpet player that's in the stands, if he goes and gets a gig with his band, perfectly fine.
Well, that was Lionel Richie did. Lionel Richie was in Tuskegee when the Commodores formed. Yeah. And the same to Ricky Williams. I love Ricky Williams, gangster. He didn't have a scholarship to Texas. Want to know how he went the 4 years? He signed a minor league contract with the Philadelphia Phillies, and the Philadelphia Phillies paid his way through college when he was at UT. A lot of people don't know that he didn't even have a scholarship.
But that's the thing. This dude won a Heisman. He's the face, and literally the face, because remember the video game was out at that point. Mm-hmm. So this dude is famous and is not getting a cent. He's not being compensated at all except through books. Understand, for everyone, any plumber, any electrician, any businessman, hey, I'm going to pay you with education. I'm going to pay you with a credential. They went, get the hell out of here. And I'm going to wrap it up with that. They're finally paying these kids. Or they're starting. This is a start. Pay these kids. Now they need to get some sort of union, some actual power behind them. And I'm all about it. I love it.
Oh no, I love the Wild Wild West. I love the fact that because it's not the students that's fucking it up. It's the grown men. It's the billionaires that's fucking this shit up. But on that, yo, peace out.
Blessings.